I'm Molly the person, and I'm gonna talk about things that are kind of sad. It seems like it's been a little while that I've been in a funk, and something that has been helping me is actually I've been watching Russell Brand's videos. Have any of you followed him or watched his videos? His most recent YouTube videos, I just started watching a ton of them and listening to his podcasts, have made me feel more what do they make me feel? He talks about a lot of really abstract ideas and philosophical concepts that are really interesting to listen to and also kind of feed that part of me that a lot of intuitive types have, this hunger. Also a lot of artists, I'd say. I guess I can't label it. A lot of humans have this hunger for more, for depth. Some don't. Some want to put up the blinders. And they don't want to hear it. And if you bring stuff up or if you make too intense eye contact, they say, whoa, what's the matter with you? And so those of us who do feel like we want that extra depth and we want to dive into those seas with other people, we try and seek them out. And when we can't find them, it can be kind of a lonely feeling. Feed your soul. Find that music that really holds you and holds the space for your feelings. It's important to be able to absorb as well as express. So if you have a journal as well, expressing your thoughts. So that's been kind of helping me get through this low period. And also just recognizing the qualities that you do possess that you are appreciative of, instead of just being too hard on yourself. So I'm sure you said enough, all the things that you've done wrong, so maybe taking a second to write down the things you've done right today, or not necessarily right or wrong, but the things that you're proud of, the things that you've learned, the things that you're impressed by. Good job, self. What a kind human you were today. It's easy to look at the downside of those feelings, which I so often have been doing in recent days. And it kind of takes me back to almost adolescence, where I'm comparing myself to other people, or my highly sensitive person self will get very very in tune with other people and what they're thinking and how I'm absorbing their energies and how they're absorbing mine, if they even are. I'm overthinking too much. It's like the ruminating that it will torture oneself. And the upside of it, so it's easy to think, wow, I am overthinking so much. Why can't I just say a thing in this group of people? Why do I have to think before I say? Why, like, it comes so naturally to her or whatever. And you have these comparative thoughts that might take you back to when you were 13 and you see things seemingly looking really easy to someone else, whereas to you it's extra difficult or challenging. Instead of acknowledging what you do have. Firstly, what you do have from this is self-awareness. If you're able to dissect everything you're doing while you're doing it, other people's responses to it, and so much more, you're a very thoughtful person. You're thinking a lot. Sure, it might come in the form of anxiety, which is unpleasant and can be unbearable. Your worth is not measured by a whole lot of things that you're measuring it by. It's not measured by how much you talk. And that's what I was doing. I was kind of thinking, why is there a 3 to 10 second gap before I answer questions? And why is my answer not as thoughtful as the one that I have in my brain afterwards, or is coming out strange sounding? My husband brought up a very good point. It feels silly, not silly, it feels unfamiliar saying my husband. It feels very old, but that's what he is. My husband, he brought up a good point that I need to stop grading myself, because you could hear it in me describing this night to him. I was like, well, so I was funny, like this percentage funny at the beginning, and then I was this percentage fit at this point, and I was this percentage talkative or quiet, and it's like I'm constantly rating myself, which is not very self-compassionate, huh? I am realizing that, one, I'm grateful for the connections I do have, and I'm grateful for reaching out to them about these certain struggles, because that allows vulnerability, allows a connection, a stronger connection, and also which will hopefully be reciprocated later. And so it's like showing that this is a safe place to kind of open up about these things that might appear ugly. And also it allows for growth, because sometimes when you voice these things in a safe space with someone, or even to your journal, you come to a conclusion, or not necessarily a conclusion, but a lesson that can help you grow and help you learn and become healthier. And so I guess just voicing all these different things, here I am just thinking that I'm struggling because of these specific reasons of what happened, and going through like the process of what happened, and not realizing that I'm literally grading myself on which traits I possessed and how good I was at this, and when I went down, and like just being very, very hard on myself and ruminating, which is just going to take me nowhere except to hell. I guess I thought I'd share this stuff because I know that humans struggle because we're humans. And if you're at a low point, know that it will go back up. Who knows when? You can't put a time on it. And it's so hard because you want to. You want to control it. I want to control my environment and myself. And I feel like something that I've learned from Russell Brand's podcast, he says, you don't know what's best for you. That's been kind of helping guide me a little bit. I keep trying to remind myself of that because I feel so badly like I do. I feel like I know that was what I was supposed to get. That was what I was supposed to do. Dang it, I blew it. Not true. It's a lie. I'm lying to myself because I don't know. I don't know if that was the best. The idea of the best is just this fallacy. And so if you are like me, where you're perfectionistic and you're constantly thinking of what's the best and what's the correct option, I've been trying to remind myself that I don't know what's best for me, and I have no idea what the future holds. Even if I think I do, I don't. I don't have control over the past or the future. I somewhat have control over right now, though. So I just did that with my hand. Can't really tell you why, but just because I could. So I suppose if I want to do something, good for me right now, that I know to be good for my self growth and self, then I will do that. I actually yesterday I did a lot of exercising, a lot of mindfulness. I tried to knock the sadness out of me, like speed. I just wanted to like zip right through and just be happy. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel better. And that can feel so frustrating when you do everything, when you feel like you're doing literally everything to get out of that rut and you're still in the rut. So I'm trying to be patient and just continue on in this life and doing the best that I can, whatever the best is, but also allowing myself space to just be and accepting myself as I am. And part of that, I'd like to do affirmations now, so once I get off, I might say some things like, you did a good job at whatever the case. So some self-compassionate words it can help, self-soothing. So I'm going to try and self-soothe and whatever else, because ultimately your mental health matters a whole lot. So if you're feeling low, take care of yourself. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. I mean, isn't everyone being selfish in some regard, even if they're tending to other people and being selfless? Is it truly selfless? That's a question that I wonder about sometimes. Like, sometimes I do feel like I'm just genuinely caring about someone else more than myself and not thinking of myself at all. But is your subconscious wanting to feel good for that, or wanting to connect, or wanting to see the person be better, and almost like in this kind of controlling way? I don't know. Also, I honked at someone on the way home from work today, and I felt slightly guilty afterwards because I was like, did I just shame them? I don't want to shame a person. Like, shame on you for doing that. But it's also like you can't control how they're going to interpret it, so who knows? You can't like send a little voice memo through it just saying like, just letting you know you were in the way, just so you know for future reference. You could hurt someone. I care about the safety of you and all the people in the future that you may or may not hit with your car. So it's just like a little heads up. But they don't know what the honk means. And I feel like that sort of honking we do a lot in just speaking. We just misinterpret each other sometimes and not necessarily know what the intention was. And that's how a lot of conflict forms, from just assuming that someone was saying shame on you, because we have our own problems with shame, when really it might have been a different message. Or it might have been like, a really aggressive honk. And then someone interprets it as a different thing. There's just lots of like, one, it comes out of your mouth, it's a filter, and it comes through your ear, that's a filter. So it's a very convoluted sort of communication that we have in this world. And I think it's great, people like you. It's people like you don't usually hear in a positive way. You usually hear it in a negative way. It's people like you that, there's people like you who search for, how can I better understand other people with personality types or whatever it is, and how can we better communicate? How can I better understand myself so that I can grow and be a better version of me and good member of the society? Like, I feel like that is important, and if there are more people kind of caring about understanding, then it'd be a more peaceful world if we took a second to translate and understand and really listen. So anyhow, thanks for watching. I usually kind of cut these up, so this was a stream of thought that I'm going to try and just post as is, and I hope you followed well what I was saying. I got glasses marks because I took my glasses off. Can't really see you over there. Can't see you anyways because you're on the other side of the box. But thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and press the bell button and comment your thoughts, because I always love to hear your thoughts. They are quite insightful, those thoughts of yours. This is supposed to be a braid, by the way. It's a braid with a cool barrette. I'm gonna take it out because it's like more like a frizz than a braid.